Yo, one of the most important things for producers is the drums. Every producer wants their drums to hit. They want them to sound crispy. They want them to sound detailed and thick. So one mixing tip that I usually use to accomplish that is parallel compression. If you haven't heard of it, it's pretty dope. People use it for drums, for vocals, for anything really. I mean, you can use it for anything. I use it for drums and vocals sometimes as well. But in this particular tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use parallel compression in Logic Pro X. I use it all the time. It helps. I love it. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's go. So I pulled up a beat here. This was actually it was actually used on Black Ink Crew Chicago, one of their episodes, and I pretty much just stripped everything down to just the drums, and these are the drums here. So that's the basic drum track there. No synths or melodies or anything, just strictly drums for this tutorial. So I'll go to the mixing screen, and the shortcut to that is Command 2, depending on how your screens are set up. I just hit Command 1, Command 2 to switch back and forth. So for the sake of everybody kind of being on the same page, I'll use like the basic standard in the box Logic Pro plugins and compressors just to show you, and feel free to use and experiment with whatever compressors you feel works best. So what I'll do is start out by highlighting all the drum tracks: kick, snare, snare roll, hi-hat, clap, crash. Here you'll see stereo out, and what I do is click and hold that, go down to bus. I'm going to select bus 4, and what that does is it creates an auxiliary track. You'll see aux 4, so I'm gonna rename this one, let's see, drums 1. And then what I'm going to do is go back, select all those tracks again, go to where it says bus 4 and select bus 5. And what this does is creates a second auxiliary track named aux 5, and I'm gonna rename that drums smashed. And that lets me know that this track right here, this auxiliary track, is going to be the one where I'm going to put my smash compression on, and this track right here is pretty much just going to be the dry drum track, or just the drums as is. So now I have these two. If you go up here where it says B4 and B5, I'm going to switch this B5 back to bus 4 because I want these to be identical. I want the input into these aux tracks to be identical. And then I'm going to go back and switch up here where it says bus 5 back to bus 4. So now all of these drum tracks, the kick, snare, snare roll, etc., are going to both of these, or pretty much, yeah, both of these. Essentially they're the same. But the plug-in on one is going to be different. So I'm going to mute this one. As you can see, the drums 1 is just drums dry. Everything is being routed to this track. And then I have this duplicate track. If I unmute it, you see it'll play both at the same time, and you kind of get a little double effect or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by just soloing this one that I want to be crushed. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to insert a compressor. Again, this is just a standard Logic Pro X compressor. And I'm going to select Let's see. Let's just go to drums and slammed kick. See what that sounds like. So as you can see, it's like really, really smashed or on this example, slammed, or in the preset that they call it. And that's the sound that I'm going for in that secondary aux track. So I'll just rock with that one. What I'm gonna do now is unsolo that, turn this track all the way down. This is the track with the compressor. Turn it all the way down, and then I'm gonna play the regular track and slowly introduce this track with the compressor into the mix until I kind of hear the difference in my drums. And there you can hear the difference. It's subtle. I mean, you have to go in and kind of tweak settings and things like that. But the idea is to pretty much just, it creates a sort of thickness to the drums, a sort of movement in the mix, and you feel them better. You hear the lows a little bit better, and it makes for a really solid drums in your mix. So that's parallel compression. Experiment with different settings in the compressor, different compressors, until you get the sound that you want, which is thicker drums, right? So that is my little tutorial of parallel drum compression.